Y'all doing? Oh, good morning. How y'all doing today? So, this video, of course, was sparked by two videos that I seen recently. I'm not going to jump right into what the videos were, but let's get to it, okay? So, in my generation of girls, and these new younger girls, they're a new breed, but I must say that that is our fault. I know we don't want to take accountability, but we are the parents, and I'll get to why I say what I'm saying, okay? So, in my generation, I'm not going to say that every single child, well, when I was a kid, okay, everybody in my generation, as we were growing up, there were more parents that were of age or took their parenting styles differently. We're just in a new era, okay? Period, point blank. The shit is new. However, growing up, we had more parents that were tucking you in at night, um, telling you little stories of Cinderella, Snow White, you know, you pick one and place it in there, okay? But the recurring theme in all of these little fairy tales were that there will be some man that was going to come into your life and save the day at the end of the story, okay? Within, let's move all of the sugar and shit off of the stories, you know what I'm saying, and lump them up, and at the bottom of them, that is what the story is about, okay? So, with that idea being constantly regurgitated over and over again, that, once he comes and saves the day, you'll live happily ever after and ride off into the sunset, and things are going to be just everything, right? So, you have that idea in the back of your mind. And then you see all of these marriages. You see your grandparents married. You see your parents married. You see other people married. You know what I'm saying? Then, you see people getting married. You attend weddings. You know what I'm saying? You have all of these experiences that make you further want the idea of being in relationship and being in a marriage. And then there is the day of, the longing for the dress. You know what I'm saying? The day that you get into the dress and you're standing there and everything's beautiful and the flowers and the family and your man is down there waiting on you and somebody's gonna walk you down there to him, and just the whole little thing just makes everybody go, okay. Then as you grow up, you're constantly being told, well, you may not be personally told, but there's a recurring theme in, you know, uh, um, just everyday life. Everybody's talking about how women aren't valuable unless they're married, okay? And don't get me wrong, I am a very traditional woman, and I do understand the power dynamics of, and the positions of a man and a woman and their roles, and I'm totally with it. Me personally, I am. Okay. Then we go and we talk about how as you get older, your value goes down. if you're not married at a certain time, your clock is ticking, and everybody gets into this panic and, oh my God, I haven't been married, and nobody, oh my God, I'm about to be 30, and oh my God, nobody's chosen me, and oh my God, right? So we have these two videos. Now I'm gonna bring them in. The first video was of these two women. Actually, it was more people in the room, but it was cut. And there was two women. One was talking about how she values herself and self-love, and she she didn't want people to put her in a box and say that she wouldn't find love just because she was at the age of 40 or something like that. And it was ridiculous for them to say that a woman's is not valued by a man after the age of 35. So the other woman chimed in and was letting her know that her idea of life was ridiculous because men value three things. I don't remember the third thing, but the first two things were youth and the ability to bear children, which pretty much is correct, okay? So even though the woman who was defending the fact that, she believes that she could be in a relationship, the other woman also had great points as to the man's ideology about life and relationship, right? Then I saw a video of a man in his 50s. Not sure how far or how early, it was between 50 and 60. I don't think he was quite 60 yet, but who knows, right? However, he was giving advice to young women between the ages of 16 and 25, saying that they did not have their whole lives to find a mate. And he gave the example of his grandparents. They got together at the age of 17, 18, 16, 18, somewhere in that area. And they have been together for the duration of their life, and they're still together now. And it did come off a little on the pedophile side. I'm just, I'm not going to lie, it did a little bit. But anyway, that's not the point. The point is, he was giving advice to young women. Wouldn't necessarily call a 16-year-old a woman yet, but I get it. So he was giving them the advice to find a man, lock him down, because if you wait too long after 25, you probably won't find a man. And I thought about that because with all of these things that I listed earlier, the Cinderella mentality and seeing marriages and wanting a dress and being told you're not valuable or useless if you haven't been married, makes you long for and start to panic, as I said earlier. But that also made me view myself as, even though school had told me everything that I could become and all of this and all that and good grades and all that, but society, on the other hand, was telling me that you need to hurry up and find a man. You need to hurry up and find a man. You're not valuable. Nobody's going to love you. Who's going to even respect you? Because if you don't get married, you're a piece of shit you're a shit stain on the panties of life, pretty much. And that I'm not gonna say that I was just like hopelessly searching, but I was very much open and willing to start a family. So with that going on in the back of my mind, and society constantly telling me who I need, who I am and who I need to be, and my value is depreciating, I immediately, as a young woman, began to look for a mate. And it's subconscious. You know what I'm saying? Your body is starting to form, and different things, and the young men are starting to, notice you and different things. But because of how immature your mind state is, you don't realize that you are not prepared mentally, financially. You don't have a home for the baby to live in. You don't have a car to get around in. You don't have any of the things necessary for you to sustain a life, right? And the other person, 9 times out of 10, in your age group doesn't have those things either, right? And then even if you find somebody that's outside of your age group, 9 times out of 10, either A, they don't have those things either, because most people that are, that are grown and handling their business and are secured and in a certain space in life isn't looking to entertain a child, right? And the ones who are willing to entertain a child is still living their lives in a childlike way. That's why mentally they're attracted. I mean, not necessarily the attraction, because men's, wanky, it don't matter. As long as it's firm and tight and looking right, they be like, But a man or woman in a certain age group of a certain mental understanding, in a certain maturity level, in a certain financial level, they're not going to risk being with a child. Okay. So now this young girl is trying to look for relationship with the wrong people too early. Okay. And even if you do get with someone who is willing to financially support you, let you move in the house with them, you guys start a family, whatever, 9 times out of 10, that person understands that, or looks at you in a molding kind of way, like you're a piece of clay for them to mold into who they want you to be. So you go into these relationships with the lack of knowledge, the lack of understanding, the lack of financial capability, the lack of stability, just lack, period. And now you, young girl, is trying to start a family with either A, someone who is full of lack as well, so they can't give you or that baby anything. So your life is going to be full of, oh my God, can you help me? Why you can't? Tears. Oh, he ain't shit. Oh, he ain't trying to help me. But he never had the capability when you found him, when you laid down with him, to get up with a baby, to ask for things in the first place. And then you have B, an older gentleman who has financial stability and this and that, and but he's manipulating you on a daily basis. A lot of times gaslighting you. a lot of times playing a lot of chess games with you, and for years you may not even realize the manipulation, the financial abuse, whether they tell you, whether, there's all different levels of financial abuse. There's all different levels of mental abuse, emotional abuse. You know, the list goes on so deeply. And when you notice those type of things without a child in a family, you can run. You can book it. But once you have a child with this said person is doing these things, and I mean the list can go in either direction. I mean, I can make a list in that way with the people of lack. I can go this way with the older people who have and that's playing. It gets so deep. And as a young girl, not knowing where you stand, not knowing what you like, you don't even know if you like chocolate ice cream more than Neapolitan at this point in your life. I mean, like, your taste buds are still trying to figure themselves out. There was things that I hated when I was a kid that in my older age, I began to say, oh, this is not so bad. This is actually pretty great. I had the wrong cook, or I didn't let the fruit ripen long enough, or, whatever it is, you come to an age of understanding. And once you're at the age of understanding and you look around and you see how you have been put in these different positions where you should have run a long time ago. And then we put, grandma and grandpa in these older relationships as like the staple of what we're supposed to attain in our lives. But a lot of times we look at grandma in them relationship and grandpa had a baby on the block on grandma, and she, they stayed together. And then he had a baby around the corner on the next block and they stayed together. And, when you're the person that don't have and you're at home with the baby and doing the motherly thing, if you haven't found a person who is in alignment with how you want to be treated, they'll treat you any kind of way. If they're not in alignment with how you want to be handled, taken care of physically, financially, can you imagine laying in the bed with your mate, and because of the fact that you went into this too young to know what you liked, now you got somebody on top of you, and you just, God, I wish this was good. How long is this gonna be? Oh, how many cracks is in the ceiling? Oh, God, if he could just, you know what I'm saying? You got somebody who doesn't work well with you on the bills, and y'all constantly sliding behind. You got somebody who doesn't communicate very well. So within any small or big situation, they overdo it. They talking to you all crazy, and you can't find a healthy form of communication. So the child is seeing all of this negativity, and the house is in an uproar. I mean, you can paint this picture in so many ways. But by the time you get down the road so far, your life is already gone. You now figured out that you chose wrong. This was never going to be the man that was going to marry you. Or, and it goes like that on either side of the spectrum as far as dealing with with the youth. boys have it rough too, but I can't get into that right now on this video because we're talking about young women getting into relationship. And I would like to say to the man who was in that video, think deeper about the advice that you give to the youth, because we never think about the advice that we're giving out to the collective as if you were talking to your own child. Would you want your 16-year-old daughter to be formulating a marriage or marriage-like environment when she's has a lack of understanding who she is? You can even, and I see in other races and ethnic backgrounds where people have like these arranged marriages, and the father is in his mind making sure to attach his daughter to a family with money, because in his mind this family with money is going to have the financial ability to take care of my daughter how she needs to be taken care of. But do you for a moment wonder if, with that financial carrot that he's now dangling in front of her, pretty much I bought you. So now the idea isn't to love and cherish you. The idea isn't to work together as a team. The idea is that you are now a piece of property of mine. And you owe me your work around this house. You owe me to lay next to me and do all of the things that I want you to do on a sexual level, whether you like it or not, whether it feels good or not. You are here for my sexual gratification. You are here for my to be my maid. You are here to be whoever it is that I bought you to be. And as a father, as a mother, how can you coerce your child or sell them into hell? Because that baby ain't gonna be happy. I want for my daughter to find happiness, my daughters to find happiness. Life is not going to be happy every single day. You are not going to be even in relationship, you are not going to be happy every day. There is going to be some bumps in the road. But is this person someone that she can work with? Is this person in alignment with who she is and where she's going? Is he going to treat her right on every level? Mentally, financially, physically, everything. You're supposed to want happiness for your child. How can you look at a little baby and say, oh, baby, I love you, and then put them in a situation or coerce them into a situation or advise them into a situation that is going to be detrimental for their health? Because some niggas who like to show you that they love you like this. I knew this one girl, she told me, she said, we was trying, me and my cousin, we was like, oh, girl, her eye was so black. It was black as my shirt, baby. and the purple and the blue. And I mean, it was like Tommy Hearns had hit her ass, and she was high yellow. I mean that high yellow everybody wanted to be back in the day. That touch you too hard, and my fingerprint is that yellow. I mean, he had rocked her. And when we told her, girl, you better get out. And she was like, well, somebody had told her before we got to it. Somebody had told her, ooh, so and so must love you because don't nobody be hitting nobody unless they love them, girl. Looking back on my years of dating, especially within my youth, and a little further, we ain't gonna get into all that, but just looking over my life of dating, there's been a recurring theme because I didn't know myself. I didn't know what I liked. I didn't know how I wanted to be treated. I didn't know that emotional unavailability doesn't come with love. Aloof. When a motherfucker's aloof and standoffish, that's not love. But because of the types of relationships that have been put before me, and I'm not talking about my personal relationships, just watching relationships as I'm growing, I have always seen a recurring theme of emotionally detached men. Yes, they're there. Yes, they're financially doing what needs to be done in some cases. But the recurring theme is emotional unavailability. And within me seeing that, I kind of clung to people who showed me that same unavailability, which led me into my own personal hell. Because I am a very, very affectionate person. So how in the hell is somebody that's emotionally unavailable in alignment with who I am? I can be a very, very hard worker. I can also be the type of person who steps out on faith and say, hey, okay, this look like it can't be done, but I'm going to figure it out and find a way to make it happen anyway. But if you have somebody who don't want to do these things, who don't see make it anyway, who don't want to get off the couch and you want to go travel the world, if you aren't in alignment with this person, both of your lives is going to be a living hell. Y'all going to fight all the time. Y'all going to hate each other. Y'all going to walk past like ships in the night. Yeah, I'm going to bed. Good morning. Good night. I'm going to work. You know what I'm saying? But that's only because you didn't take enough time to find out who this person was, past the beautiful smile, past how big the booty was, past how good the pink was. Either pump you want to put, okay, girl or boy, don't matter. It was so good. Oh, I love him. Stop forcing these kids to jump into marriages before they find themselves. That is how we have so many. That's why the divorce rate is so high. Because we don't even let ourselves get to 25 before we trying to get married. And a lot of these little boys aren't ready for a serious commitment that young. Most men don't even want a real commitment until they junk ain't working no more. It's soggy. They old, decrepit, and trying to see, like who still gonna want me looking like I look. So that means that your young daughter is getting railroaded until he 45. Now he want to settle down and kind of be nice. Now she's mentally unstable because of all of the bullshit that he done put her through, and she's thinking about all kind of ridiculousness. The get back games, the tit for tat, all the stuff that comes with being too young. I would not give any of my children back. Not one of them. But I'm going to tell you this. I kind of wish I would have waited. I kind of wish I would have waited because of the type of mother I could have been to them. I was a good parent to a certain, for what I had. I was a good parent. But with the understanding that I know now, I could have raised them so much differently. I could have given them more tools younger. And if they would have had those tools that I'm giving them now at a younger age, think about how bad they would be at 16, 17, 18. Like they would be so dope, so ready for the world. Not necessarily ready for marriage, but ready for the world that they are stepping into. Baby, slow you down. But on the flip side, I'm going to give y'all a flip side. I had a lot more energy. I could run around with little kids when I was a little kid. I'm not sure, and this is also kind of what makes me feel some type of way about what I'm saying, because to wait, you don't have the energy anymore. Once the baby gets 10, you 50 because you had the baby at 40. You know what I'm saying? Once the baby in his teenage years, you had your baby in your 30s. Now this teenager running around here, and you in your 50s. You don't have the speed. You don't have what a teenager need. But if you had that baby too young, you don't have what that baby need. 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 So it's a catch-22. It really is. But y'all have a wonderful day. I hope you made it to the end. Be blessed.